And good afternoon, everybody. And if you're watching on the West Coast, I guess good morning. But good afternoon to the rest of you. I'm Randall Beatley. That's Cody Montanaro over there. This is Unhinged on the Outlaw Sports Network. And today we're talking Clemson football. We're going to recap the first four games of the season, talk a little bit about this week against Syracuse, and then the big news coming out of Clemson with Kelly Bryant and that whole situation. We'll give our raw take on that. None of us have actually talked about it at all, like personally, so I don't know how Cody actually feels. He doesn't know how I feel. So we're gonna lay all that out. We purposely did that for so we can hold it for this show. Raw reaction to that. Anyway, let's kick right in. Um, so week one, Clemson played Furman, and I think it went the way we all thought it was gonna go. Your takes on that Furman game?
So, I mean, this one, opening game of the season, basically just getting everybody reps. How much can you start people, get people on the field, get everything ready to go. Um, the first couple of drives I thought were a little lackluster. Thought that not a whole lot going on there, but the defense, of course, was on top of the game like always, and um, prevented Furman to really get any kind of points until the very end of the game. The offense started coming around a little bit towards the second and third quarter, and easy win, easy win.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it definitely everyone knew it was going to be sort of a warm up game just to get people into the 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 season starting and getting into the mode of actually playing a full season, not just practice, getting out of practice mode. We also saw Trevor Lawrence debut. His first two drives, I said, were a little shaky. He overthrew the ball a lot, but again, it was his first two drives in college football. Not um, not to be worried about. He did throw three touchdowns in this game. Again, it went the way we thought it would. With a win, the defense stepped up. Um, then week two comes. We travel to College Station to play A&M. Um, I actually didn't watch the game. I was at work during this game, so I did watch some of the highlights though. What were your takes on this game?
Yeah, same here. I didn't get the chance to fully watch the game. I was in Playa del Carmen, Mexico, so I didn't have the game on ESPN Deportes, so that was very disappointing. But like you, I did catch the highlights the next day, tried to catch up with what happened, and um, I know we'll get to the whole debacle of what happened on or yesterday in Clemson, but big environment, College Station, Texas, Iowa Field, over 100,000 people there, one of the biggest crowds I think we've ever seen. It's a weight crowd for Clemson, and I knew it was going to be a back and forth battle, very close battle. The offense really did very well. The first half, I thought they did pretty well. Um, taking a 14-3 lead in the halftime, and then third quarter was kind of a seesaw battle there, but the offense was once again pretty good. And Kelly Bryant actually led this offense, I think, with his leadership there. Um, it helped us calm the nerves a little bit, especially for people like Trevor Lawrence who had never been on a road game before. It was his first road game that he had ever played in. Massive crowd, big lights, big stage against Jimbo Fisher. You know, um, so all that in factor, you can't expect perfection, of course, but sometimes it's just the way it happens. But overall, in the defense, even though we allowed only 26 points, the defense did get pretty gashed with the aerial attack there, um, which to me was kind of a concern just because of the fact I was like, well, I knew we weren't going to be the perfect defense in the world. I knew our front seven was going to be dominant, and didn't seem like we got too much pressure on their quarterback. He did a great job. A football player there for A&M. But at the end of the day, I came away with the W in a tough environment, big win. Even if Texas A&M wasn't ranked at this time, it was still a pretty big win.
Yeah,
I always like to see those big close wins on the road season.
absolutely. Yeah, I would say that this game, like you said, it really showed Kelly Bryant's experience. And then we'll talk about all that in a little bit. And that his leadership really, like you said, calm the team down. T. Higgins had a really big game. He had like 130 yards in that game. Then we go on the Georgia Southern. In this game, for about the first quarter and a half, I'll be completely honest, it was a little scary until we started scoring. That first quarter was 0-0 at the end of the first quarter. I was like, what? This is going to be another Troy. But we got to about the 8-minute mark left in the first half, and we finally scored. And then we just took over from there. So your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, this this game really frustrated me. um, the first quarter, Kelly wasn't doing anything. The offense wasn't doing anything, and it, it was just frustrating to watch. Um, when Trevor came into the game, it seemed like the offense was at least putting points on the board. And but either way, the aerial attack in this game was not very good. Both Lawrence and Bryant had an interception. Trevor did have a touchdown pass, even if he had a pretty high quarterback rating, finishing 12 for 19, 194 yards with that touchdown pick. We had 286 yards passing, but we had over 300 yards rushing, and that to me shows how we're not just a one-dimensional team. Yeah, we can throw the ball. We have some good receivers on the edge that can have some speed like Justin Ross, but or whatever. What's J. Ross? Anyways, Justin Ross maybe it is. But anyways, ETN really opened my eyes in this game. To me, ETN I think is a more complete runner this year than he was last year. Last year if he had a hole, he would break it and he could run fast. But this year, basically he got more weight on him. He's breaking tackles. He's not fumbling the ball right now. Knock on wood. But breaking through tackles, he's just a powerful runner, very explosive still, very fast as well. But the rushing game was definitely on this game. It had over 300 yards rushing, so that was good to see. However, I think this was the turning point for Clemson fans to kind of see where we were at offensive-wise, particularly at that quarterback situation.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we get to last week, Georgia Tech, where it seemed like every 30 seconds my phone was going off touchdown Clemson. And I was like, okay, this game didn't go the way I sort of like. I expected a Clemson win, but I didn't expect us to actually win as bad as we did. Now our defense did let up some points later in the game, but still, Trevor Lawrence career high 4 touchdowns in this game. Again, ETN another 100-yard game. So like we're a running team, but we had more running yards again last week than we did passing yards. So we like you said, we're not one dimensional. And then when Feaster plays at his full potential, he can be 100-yard back too. So we got two of them who can. Adam Choice, we don't really play him as much, but and then again, our receiving core. I was a little nervous coming in this year about who was going to step in to be that number one receiver. And I think we got a lot of them who could do it. Rodgers, Ross, Higgins, obviously. like our better receivers. I mean, with Renfro's more of a situational guy. But what are your take on last week's game?
Yeah, I thought we had a really, really, really good performance there. I thought we were going to win pretty soundly, but I didn't think it would be in the second half. We started pulling away. We started pulling away in the first half. Um, Georgia Tech got a touchdown in the second, third, and fourth quarter, but they only got 7 points. Defense um, allowed more than what we have seen in the past year or so against Georgia Tech. But you got to get credit to them. I think their offensive line was just a little bit better than last year. Their quarterback could throw the ball better than any quarterback I'd seen in the last few years with Georgia Tech. So, but once again, this was just the same domino effect that happened the week prior faced Georgia Southern. That it was starting to show who's really starting to pull away with the battle.
Yeah,
Um, Kelly was only 6 for 10 with 56 yards and didn't have a touchdown or a pick. Lawrence had was 13 for 18 for 176 yards, 4 TDs in the pick. So 2 games between Georgia Southern and Georgia Tech, he had around 5 touchdowns, 2 picks, and Kelly had 1 pick, no touchdowns, 2 picks. ETN had another 100-yard game, and once again, like I said, it boggles my mind of just how better he's gotten at with just simple offseason. Um,
yeah,
like breaking tackles, being a little more just explosive, complete back instead of just a guy that can run really fast when there's a open spot. Um, like you said with Feaster, when he plays his full potential, he can be just as good as a dynamic running back. And it would be great to see a Thunder Lightning Part 2 like we had with C.J. Spiller, James Davis. But it's pretty clear. I think the ETN is shooting up one of the depth chart. Feaster should at least be number 2, and Choice number 3. But Choice, I think Choice is more that third down back, pretty tough guy that
yeah,
he can get to a short yardage situation. And Lynn J. Dixon, he's starting to come around a little bit. He's starting to, like Dabo said before, that he feels like Lynn J. is where ETN was last year, but a little bit better. So I'll be anxious to see what he can do. Maybe not just this year, but definitely the year prior. But another thing, like you said, with the receiving core, Amari Rogers had a little bit of his breakout game. He didn't have a touchdown, but he did have at least 6 catches, so the primary target was for him. Renfro, of course, came in through some big situations. Ross only had 1 catch, but 1 for a touchdown. Once that guy gets in open space, he's gone. Higgins, I think we need to somehow get the ball out more towards him. Amari to me reminds me of Artavis Scott with the size.
yeah.
He's not very big, but the feel is great. I think we kind of use it as use. Higgins is that taller receiver. He's a little bit more leaner. So I think when we get the ball down to a little bit more to create some one-on-one opportunities and just throw it up there, let our receiver go and battle for it, just like we had in the past. But of course, that those rookie-type quarterbacks, you always want to let them just throw the ball to the open guy, make some plays. But I think maybe as the year goes on, we may see them more. Yeah.
All right, alrighty. So that leads us to, I think, the big topic where when I shot this idea to actually do this, my idea was just to go over the first 4 weeks, take like 10 minutes to discuss that. But then some news came out the day after where Kelly Bryant decided, hey, I'm going to transfer from Clemson University. He hasn't announced where he's transferring to, but we know he is. Um, Coming a day after Dabo Swinney announced Trevor Lawrence as starting quarterback for the Syracuse game. So again, it was just for the Syracuse game. He didn't say it was going to be a season-long thing. So this is why I'm super confused. So I'm going to ask you first, and I'll give my take on it. What was your initial reaction to Kelly Bryant saying he's transferred?
So I hope I don't take away a lot of what you're going to say. So I will do the best that I can kind of limit a few things, not go all over the spectrum and cover just about everything and make you go, oh yeah, I agree. Um, so I'll just use a couple things. It didn't surprise me Trevor was going to be named starter for Chiefs. Obviously, he's been the best quarterback we've had. Does Kelly's leadership help the team? Yes. Do I think he was the best quarterback on the roster? No. But he does have dynamic to his game that Trevor doesn't have. Obviously, Trevor is not a runner like Kelly is. Trevor is a smart runner. He will run when there's an open space, if it's a read option or RPO, whatever. Kelly just has that big frame and size and speed that he can be able to run pretty well. But even if Kelly's passing was, at least on film, looked better, to me this year it was almost as good as last year's. It's just good. It's not great. It's not fantastic. Trevor can sling a ball in tight spaces. I don't think I've seen a guy that can throw as hard and as accurate in college as a freshman in one time. So that's pretty cool. Pretty good to see that. So I get that from Kelly's perspective. You've been the starter for the past 18 games ever since Deshaun left, and then that's the hardest situation I think is to fill that spot from one of the greatest quarterbacks in collegiate history for Clemson. How do you transition that? Kelly Bryant was a guy. I think he was the right guy at the right time, and he filled that spot greatly. He went 16-2. What happened? The Sugar Bowl happened. I don't think he was on his game. I don't think the whole offense in general was on. As much as we want to blame the quarterback for not leading the offense, you all have to be on the same page. I just think they were prepared greatly. And that's a problem with Alabama is you can give them 4 weeks to prepare for you. 9 times out of 10, you're going to lose. If you give them only a week to prepare for you, it can be a little bit more easier to prepare, not to rush to prepare a good game. My biggest thing is if you're a leader on the team and you've got your peers respect, your peers look up to you as a leader, why would you? Why are you going to take your ball and go home because you didn't get your ball? If you're a true leader, like everybody says, that doesn't make any sense. I get that from an ego standpoint, being named the starting quarterback means a lot. You can say I was a starting quarterback. But when you're being outperformed by somebody else who's not the starter, it's only time until you lose that spot. Now, I don't think that Trevor would have played the whole game against Syracuse. I still think it would be a 2-quarterback system. And Kelly would have seen plenty of playing time. It was just Trevor was named starter. I think Dabo just wanted to put some points on the board ASAP because we weren't doing that a whole lot with Kelly leading the field on the first 2 or 3 drives. We just weren't doing it. And as soon as Trevor comes in, all of a sudden the offense changes. So I think he just wanted to get some points early on the board because we know Syracuse can put up a little bit of points. They have a decent offense. So I think that was just the case. And Kelly would have definitely came in, and either way, it still would have been hard enough for a defensive person to say, "I'll 2 quarterback, a guy that can't throw the ball pretty good, is a great runner, and a guy that can sling the ball all over the place, and not the greatest of a runner, but still hard to do." So, yeah, it's his decision at the end of the day. I don't think he made the right decision per se, in my opinion. It's only my opinion. But it's sad that sometimes ego can get in the way of helping build a great.
Absolutely. So it's funny you mentioned ego because that was going to be my first point. Is if you look, if you if you look at the great quarterbacks that Clemson has had since Dabo has been there, Taj Boyd, Deshaun Watson, even at times like when Cole Stout would play. What made these quarterbacks the quarterbacks they were? They were the fact that they were selfless. Taj did what made the team better. Deshaun did what made the team better. Cole Stout started the year Deshaun came in, and when Deshaun had to play his time, Cole let him. Cole didn't complain. He understood what was going on in the system. And I think that's the one thing that Kelly Bryant really didn't have was that selflessness. He wanted the team to be focused on him. He wanted that spotlight. And everyone's going to bring up that we've had 4 quarterbacks transfer in the last 12 months, which to me, they want to say it's Clemson's self-destructing or whatever. To me, it shows that either one, Trevor Lawrence is the most overhyped person in the system, or 2, he's really that good that 4 guys knew they weren't going to play and have left the team. You know, I wish Kelly would have stayed. Absolutely. Honestly, it's his decision. I was confused, a little actually shocked that he was leaving, but at the same time, it wasn't that big of a surprise that Kelly was going to be benched. I mean, if you just look over the statistics of the first 4 games, Trevor played the best. He was more accurate. And I think everyone said Dabo handled the situation the wrong way from the very beginning. I don't think he did. I thought he handled it the right way. We all knew Israel and Cooper and Hunter Johnson were going to leave. We knew that in the spring. So you do what you can do with Kelly, and you say, Kelly, you're going to start week 1 until Trevor understands the playbook a little better. And then we'll make a decision when we want to. And obviously, Dabo was ready to start Trevor this week. The only thing that really makes me mad is the timing of the whole thing. Because he announced the starter on, what was it, Sunday, and the next day Kelly comes out saying he's transferring. He didn't give it any time to think about anything. Over Kelly's career last year and this year that he's played, a lot of announcers and I myself have said, oh, this guy reminds me of Cam Newton. This guy reminds me of how good Cam Newton can be. The size, the running ability. He is Cam Newton. And there was this one part of Cam Newton's game that everyone hates, and that's the ego part. And Kelly didn't show it, and now he's starting to show it. I'm going to cry when I don't get my way. I'm going to sit on the bench and that type of thing. If Kelly could get rid of that, he could be an NFL quarterback. Now, is Cam a top 5 quarterback in the NFL? That's up for debate. But again, those comparisons are there for a reason. He does play the same way Cam does. And now he's starting to act a little bit more like Cam off the field, with the ego problem. And so, am I sad that he left? Yes. My one wish is if when you do transfer, when you do pick a school, every school in the country is going to try to get you. Stay out of the ACC. Please just stay out of the ACC. There's only one school I really think that would be a challenge to us that we play, and that's Florida State, or maybe Miami or something. I can't really think of an ACC school that really needs a quarterback. Maybe Louisville. But I honestly see him going to a bottom tier school, or I could see him going to Division II. There's still plenty of NFL players to go Division II who make it to the NFL. So what happens, happens. And I do wish him the best. I think we just need to drop it after this week, the whole situation, leave the distraction where it is. Go out and try to beat Syracuse. And this was a big game for at least you and me because we really wanted that revenge from last year. So
Yeah, and
it's
that's the thing that Dabo says it's not a revenge game, but I think deep down inside for some people, it is a revenge game.
yeah.
And I've seen, and I've two more points that I wanted to make real quick. I was wanting to wait till you got your points out of the way. If you brought this up, I was going to bring it up. But you know, is it going to divide the locker room? And in my opinion, it's like, how can it divide the locker room? Trevor Lawrence hasn't done anything, at least to our knowledge. He hasn't done anything. Everybody's backed up, both quarterbacks, and Trevor has come out on numerous occasions that, listen, Kelly and I have a great relationship. You know, he wants to be the best. Yeah, I want to be the best, but obviously he's the more experienced person here. I'm trying to learn as much as I can. Now, whether that's the right thing to say to the media or that's how it really is, if we don't know what's going on really behind the scenes, sure, we may not know. But I feel like a lot more people would be coming out, especially since it's happened yesterday. I haven't really seen any players or anybody else coming out saying, "We stand behind you, Kelly. This is, Kelly's team. This is ridiculous. This is BS. Whatever." I haven't seen much of that, except for one lone dude that transferred to Clemson. It's not relevant right now. But a couple points that I wanted to make real quick. People say that Dabo, the people that have said that Dabo treated this the wrong way. How so? You gave 4 weeks for evaluation. And he could have been a douche and said, "Yeah, Kelly, you can start this week. Next week, you're not starting against Wake and Trevor." And then Kelly would have been screwed if he really didn't want to be on the team and was going to take his ball and go home. He wouldn't be able to because he wouldn't be able to transfer to the new NCAA rule. At least Dabo gave him ample amount of time to say, "Hey, man, you're not going to start this week in Syracuse. I'll let you take your time to decide this." I don't feel like we're having any problems, though. But whatever. I'll let you have the day off. Yesterday and then Tuesday, he didn't go to practice, and I think that's when everybody really started getting questioned. People were like, "Hey, it's his birthday. It's fine. Whatever." But at least Dabo told him. Brandon, the quarterback, I think it's quarterback coach. Brandon Streeter first told him, and then Dabo and if Dabo was a selfish person, he would have started Kelly and then would have not even had that option, like a redshirt transfer. At least he gave him that option, and that's a coach. That's a coach for you that does respect his players. So listen, I'm willing to take this risk, but at least I'm telling you and being a man and telling you and letting you make your own decision. In comparison for quarterbacks, though, Bryant for this year has been 36 for 54, 461 yards with 2 touchdowns and a pick. Not too terrible. And Trevor has went 39 for 60, so he's only had 6 more passing attempts than Bryant. But he's had 600 yards, 9 touchdowns. When you're throwing for 139 more yards with 5 more touchdowns or 7 more touchdowns to only 1 more pick, it's kind of hard to say we to play the guy that's been getting us more points on the board.
Yeah.
The last point I want to make, and I haven't seen this a whole lot. I don't think I've seen this at all on social media, but it just popped into my mind. I don't think this is anything to worry about or whatever, but it just popped in my mind. Just a little throw it out there. I believe it was the decision to change quarterback was to get the offense on the field quicker, get points on the board quicker, things of that nature. I don't know what was said in the meeting between Kelly and Dabo. I wonder if Kelly was like, "Are you afraid that I'm going to get hurt again like I did last year against Syracuse? Is that why you don't want me to start? Or do you think I'm going to be shaken up because this is a team that injured me last year and I was out for the year and this is the team we lost to that went down?" Like, I don't think that was the case at all. But I'm wondering if there's any one of those people out there that are like, Dabo was scared to start him because he got injured last year. He didn't want to have that. I don't know. That's
I mean, there's a whole bunch of speculation. Everyone's saying that. Not everyone. Gamecock fans are saying, "Oh, Kelly realized that." Or that people basically they're saying Dabo was paying Trevor a lot of money to come there, and that Kelly wasn't getting enough. Like, whatever. That's beside the point. If that's happening, then that'll be addressed later. But honestly, in a competitive sport like football, when you're playing the hot hand, I mean, if we go to the pro side, the Buccaneers got a big decision after this week. Winston comes back. Do you play Fitzpatrick or do you start Winston? Um, it happens. It happens in professional sports. Um, we're
Pelicans
riding
have
the
that problem with Carson Wentz. They ride with Bulls, or because Carson Wentz is back, they start him, and they did.
yeah, and so honestly, if we're talking Tampa Bay, I mean, yes, the first 2 weeks Fitzpatrick played out of his mind. Last week he came back down to earth. I think you start Winston. He's your guy. Fitzpatrick is there, but back to Clemson. Lawrence is the hot hand, and we were riding him. Like you said, when Lawrence was on the field, we were a lot more productive in scoring. Uh, Kelly had a problem, at least that I noticed, getting points in the red zone. Um, he could get us there, but touchdowns were hard to come by. Um, um, and you need a quarterback like Lawrence who can put the ball in a specific location quickly. And Lawrence, I've never seen a release of the football as fast as Trevor Lawrence has in a long time. Um, so, I mean, we might be overhyping Lawrence. There's no time will tell with what Lawrence will be, but he's the hot hand. You ride him. You can see in 4 weeks of film that um, Trevor is more efficient in terms of scoring, and you have to, especially against a team like Syracuse, who can and have upset us in the past, you have to get points on the board quickly. Um, and Kelly's just not producing the way we need him to produce. So of course, like it's this. That, to me, it was obvious. I mean, I've been saying for the last 2 weeks, why are we not starting Trevor? It's not a diss against Kelly. I still think Kelly's a good quarterback. It's just Trevor right now is more efficient, and I guess Kelly couldn't get that through his head that we still need you. Now we got 4 quarterbacks on the roster who, have, other than Trevor Lawrence, none of the other 3 have played a down of football in Clemson.
Well,
So,
uh,
well, Chase might have.
yeah, Chase Bryce has played a few plays,
Yeah, but
but
like,
that's it.
but the other 2 are true
It-
freshmen. They're true freshmen. Bryce is a redshirt freshman. But the other 3 guys are true freshmen. And outside of Trevor Lawrence, the other 2 haven't. They're scout team players, so we don't have that experience to lean upon when Trevor gets into a situation where he's down. Kelly Bryant could have been there to pick him up. And I mean, I hate to compare to Alabama, but Alabama has the same situation last year. Um, I think Tua's the better quarterback. Jalen Hurts is the better runner. I still think Jalen Hurts in the NFL will be a perfect running back. He's built like a running back. Jalen Hurts said the first half was horrible in this national championship game. Let's put in Tua. I'll play my part. I'm fine with it. And he had the option to transfer last year coming into the season, and he didn't. And I as bad as I want to hate Alabama, I mean Saban did a good job keeping Jalen Hurts in line. I'm not blaming Dabo for this one, but it's I don't. It's just
It's
Kelly
a tough
Bryant.
situation.
It's hard to say because I don't want to put blame on anybody. I don't.
It's hard. I think Kelly's ego got the best of him,
Yeah,
but at the same time, I don't want to say it's like I said. I don't necessarily agree with his decision, and that's just a personal opinion. I can understand where he's coming from at least a little bit because he was a starter for 18 straight games. This was his team, and
absolutely.
and then you get a freshman who has been more hyped than any other quarterback I've ever seen in Clemson history, and that includes Deshaun. That he's there. You know he's going to be competing. He's going to get playing time. I'm sure Kelly was okay with that. But at the same token, I'm sure Kelly at the same time, like, listen, if I just make one, two mistakes here, I feel like this is no longer going to be my team. And I think that was his problem, was he still thought this was much of his team.
Yeah.
And
And
want to let go.
I think the thing that bothers me the most were just his comments that he gave the newspaper about him being benched being a slap in the face. And I don't think those comments were necessary. I would have been hurt too if I was benched. But at the same time, like, it's not a slap in the face. It's more of you didn't produce. Maybe this is a wake up call that it is a competition. Nothing. And I liked how Dabo responded. Dabo was like, "Well, this isn't middle school. We're not going to play everybody. We're here to win games. We're here to win championships, especially with the championship caliber defense we have and the offense that we've shown potential to have. This definitely looks like a championship built team, and so you play your best players."
Yeah, I agree with that. I think
So
one article I read on ESPN was saying how maybe this was the quarterback change was a response into Alabama and two, because if you're looking at it from, and this is just a pure speculative from somebody else's perspective, he looked at it as, if you're Dabo Sweeney, and if you're thinking about a rematch again of Alabama Clemson, who are you going to start, Kelly Bryant or Trevor Lawrence? At this point in the season, Trevor Lawrence, and maybe he feels that's the best way he was going to get his team to win. At the same time, I don't think that way. I didn't. That was not the first thing that popped in my mind. Was great. This is how we're going to beat Alabama with Trevor Lawrence. I just knew that this was going to be the future of Clemson for the next 3 years at least.
it's
Keep us on top, but still not a great situation to know that you have 4 freshman quarterbacks now in the game.
yeah. And I mean, it's one of those things. I mean, there's always going to be speculation. Honestly, none of us know what actually happened out off the field, what the conversation was. I know Dabo's one of those coaches. He's come out and said that if you don't feel Clemson's the best place for you, he's willing to let you leave.
Yeah.
Obviously, he didn't want Kelly to go. No one wanted Kelly to go, but he's saying, okay, you're an adult, make your decision. And he's let hundreds of players transfer. I mean, when we lost Pagano last year, to me that wasn't a big loss, but it was an experience that we lost. Even though our defensive line is like the most experienced in the country, but Pagano to me was one of those situational linemen who and lose. I actually liked him, and I think I don't know if he's still in the NFL. I know he got signed by someone in training camp, but that was the same response he had to Pagano when Jack Kelly left. He actually left on bad terms, but
yeah, that's a whole different.
I mean, but again, like Jack Kelly had to leave because he was a distraction in the locker room.
Yeah.
I don't think Kelly was that big of a distraction, but I think all the press around it could be a distraction, and that's one of the things I want to see how this week we handle Syracuse amid all this press coverage and knowing it's everything to be about the quarterback situation. We're not going to look at the play that we've already shown on tape. It's the quarterbacks. Did Dabo handle this the wrong way? And we know how the media likes to twist things, even sports media. So I think if we can just put it behind us this week, move on, and I mean we still got a really good team. So
Right. Yeah.
with that said, looking forward to the rest of this year. We got Syracuse this week. We got Wake next week. Two big games. Should be easy wins, but Wake's one of those teams. You never know what's going to happen with them, especially since it's in Wake.
Yeah.
I forgot who we play after Wake. I think I want to say NC State. I could be wrong. I just saw the schedule. But anyway,
we're off the next
we have a
week.
bye week.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, like Perfect time, get 2 wins heading into the bye week. Perfect time to swim group. Yeah, we got a fun season ahead of us. Thank y'all for watching this episode of UnHinged. Let us know your feelings on this if you're a Clemson fan, or if you're not. Even if you're not, this is made national coverage, so every fan base is gonna have their opinions on it. Let us know what y'all think. Was it the right move for Kelly to leave? What you think about Clemson football this year? In the comment section, share this video. Go find us on Facebook, Outlaw Sportsnet. And with that, I'm Randall Beaton. That's Cody Montanaro. Y'all have a great rest of your Thursday.